Tonight's homework is on solving proportions, percent change, tax, tip, and discount. And you should have gotten this assignment today in class, page 47 from your motivational math book. And page 48 as well. Most of the classes got through questions 1 and 2. Some got through 3 and 4. It just really depended upon how quickly we were catching on and how much vocab that we had to access from our prior knowledge. So for number 1, it talks about a bicycle shop that designs a new gear system for bikes. They use a 4-inch gear for bikes with a 22-inch wheel diameter. If the ratio of the gear to wheel diameter remains constant, what is the size of the gear for a bike with a 26-inch wheel? The things that were important in this question were the 4-inch gear, the 22-inch wheel diameter, the word ratio, the actual ratio written in word form, the 26-inch wheel, and then finding what is the size of the gear that we need for a bike with a 26-inch wheel. Now the next question mentions 75% of the girls in Ms. Thompson's class owning a smartphone compared to the 62.5% of the boys. If there are 20 girls and 8 boys in Ms. Thompson's class, how many students own a smartphone? Then it asks later on to round to the nearest percent and find what percent of the students in Ms. Thompson's class own a smartphone. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and pull out all of the important information in each question, and then later on I'll go on and let you know what you need to solve it. By no means am I giving out answers because that's not what I do through Google Classroom. I'm just giving you an extra bit of assistance to help solve the problems. So I need 75% of the girls, and I need 62.5% of the boys. There are 20 girls, that's important, and 8 boys in the class, and they want to know how many students own smartphones. Then later on, I need to know what percent own a smartphone. So here, when they give me percent, I don't need a proportion to solve for that answer. But when they don't give me a percent, that's the time that I do need a proportion to solve. So, yes, proportion box here, no, I'm sorry, vice versa. No proportion box up here, yes, proportion box down here. And I'll even write that here, x out of 100, and then we'll talk about the part and the whole here, because we have to describe what part they're asking about and then what my whole is. Eli's Electronics has a 60-inch television on sale this week for $798. The television is regularly priced for $1,050. By what percent did the price of the television decrease? Surprisingly here, I don't need this 60 inches. It's asking me about a price percent decrease. It costs $798 and the regular price is $1,050. I'm going to need just those two numbers, and then I'm going to have to do something to find a third number. Another helpful hint, I need the original price. I need the change. And I need the new price. Whoops. Now you don't necessarily have to write them in that order because of course they give you the original and they give you the new, and then you have to find the change. Here I will have to make another proportion box, x and 100, because it's asking me for a percent. Remember, when it asks for percent, I need a proportion. When it gives me a percent, I have to do something else. Marina's bill for her dinner totals $38.65, including tax. That means I don't have to calculate the tax. It's already been done. She leaves a 20% tip. If she pays with a $100 bill, how much change will Marina receive? 20%, pays with a $100 bill. How much change? That's what I need for that question. We'll talk about solving it in a moment. Number 5. During a field trip to a local soda manufacturing plant, students watched as 12 sodas were dispensed in 1.5 minutes. At this rate, how many minutes will it take to dispense 12 dozen sodas? How many sodas does the factory dispense per hour? 12 sodas is important. In 1.5 minutes is important. That is a rate. It's written in word form. And it tells me, boom, at this rate, that's already been given, the rate is, or ratio are either going to be given before or after the word rate, obviously. How many minutes will it take to dispense 12 dozen sodas? And then how many sodas does the factory dispense in an hour? Now, earlier they were talking about minutes. Down here they're talking about an hour. You need to know that 1 hour is equal to 60 minutes. You also need to know that 12 sodas is not the same as 12 dozen. 12 dozen is equal to 12 times 12, which is 144. Okay, that's important there. Munson Sporting Goods purchases bowling balls from the manufacturer for a wholesale price of $65 each. The retail price of the bowling balls reflects a 60% increase, that's important, over the wholesale price. What is the retail price of the bowling ball, or of a bowling ball? Is retail price. Shelby purchased a coat for $101.50. That was regularly priced at $145, not including tax. What percent did Shelby save by purchasing that coat on sale? What percent did she save? An 8-ounce cup of gourmet coffee costs $4.50. If the unit price remains the same, how much would 3 quarts of coffee cost? Okay, we're going to skip this one because this wants us to convert ounces to quarts. And we haven't quite covered that yet. So let's skip number 2 here. You can do it for extra credit. We'll say 5 points. Tan's electricity bill for the month of August was $267. His September bill showed a 2% increase from his August bill. In October, his bill decreased 8% from the amount he was billed in August. How much did Tan spend on electricity over the 3-month period? So this is $267 for August, then a 2% increase from August to September, and then an 8% decrease from August to October. How much did Tan spend on electricity over a 3-month period? So this is several steps. Holly and her 2 best friends go to dinner. Their total bill is $31.84. They use a coupon for 15% off the total. If they split the bill evenly, how much money will each person owe to the nearest cent? Holly and her 2 best friends. How many people is that? 3 people. Their bill is $31.84. They use a coupon for 15 off the total. If they split the bill evenly, how much money will each person owe to the nearest cent? While completing a practice test online, Malia answered 6 out of 20 questions correctly. If the ratio of incorrect to total questions remains constant, so this is asking about incorrect and it's talking about a ratio. And then total questions, incorrect to total. How many questions should Malia answer correctly out of 30 questions? This should say correct, not incorrect. Cross out that N. Your original ratio is 6 out of 20, and I want it to remain constant. Questions out of 30. That means I want to get to 30 in X. Number 6. Which of the following scenarios represents the greatest percent change? Greatest percent change. Okay, so we're going to work backwards here. Since 6 is the last question that I left off at, I'm going to start working on it from here. Now it says, which of the following scenarios represents the greatest percent change? For percent change, I need a proportion, I need the amount of change, and I need the original. This is what we've been working on for the past few days, even the couple of days leading up to Thanksgiving break. And then over here I need X and 100. So for letter A, and yes, I have to work out each one of these to find out what the percent change is, and then at the end I need to find the greatest one. So the 3 numbers that I need are my original number, my new number, and my change. For B, I need the original, new, and the change. Original, new, and change. Original, new, and change. For letter O, it should be F, G, H, and J. Whoops, oh well. So for the first one, it says a student grew from 60 inches to 66 inches in height. Grew. 60 inches is my original number because that's what they gave me first. 66 is my new number. A board that measures 17 inches is cut and now measures 11 inches. Box, circle, whatever works for you. 17 was my original, 11 was my new, for letter B or G or whatever, the second part. C, or H, a refrigerator that was originally priced at $630 is now $441. So that's a discount, $630, $441. And the last one, the man increased his weight from 170 pounds to 185 pounds. 170 to 185. Now, in order to find the change here, you just subtract and you drop the negative if you have one, because I just want my change to be a regular or an absolute value of that number. So I don't need the sign. I can determine later on if it's an increase or a decrease, but for this question, it just wants to know by how much is it changing. So 66 minus 60 is 6. That's where that change came from. 17 minus 11, also 6. The next one, 630 minus 441, 189. And then 185 minus 70 is 15. So that's where all those changes came from. Now I need to do my proportion tables, or proportion boxes. Be mindful of where to place the numbers. The change goes on top, the original goes on the bottom. I no longer need the new number. So no more 66, no more 11, no more 441, no more 185. I'm done with those. I did what I needed to do with them.